On coral reef disease in the Caribbean, which is spread along Florida's coast. Scientists call this epidemic stony coral tissue loss disease. Our Washington Bureau reporter Samantha-Jo traveled to the Florida Keys to take a closer look at this emerging underwater disaster.
Off the southern tip of Florida, this is what many consider paradise. Clear skies, warm crystal blue waters, and calm conditions. But looks can be deceiving.
You can look at it from a boat, but it doesn't look anything like what you see underwater.
Beneath the surface, stony coral tissue loss disease is raging like an inferno in these reefs. Ron Stein has lived and worked as a boat operator here for 10 years. He takes divers to Looe Key Reef, known as the crown jewel of the Florida Keys. But he says it's quickly becoming an underwater graveyard.
The biggest decline has just been in the last year to 18 months with this new disease. I came down here in the 80s originally, and it was totally different.
Over 20,000 visitors come here every year, and many have no idea this fragile underwater ecosystem could be at risk of extinction.
Daily we hear people talk about how beautiful it is and how great this coral is, and we know that it's dying quickly, but they don't know what they have nothing to compare it to. But the coral itself is in trouble.
The disease causes the tissue of the coral to degrade and fall off, turning vibrant reefs white as they die. We saw firsthand how the disease is progressing out on the water with researchers from Nova Southeastern University.
The white that we talk about, it's not that the coral is turning white, it's not like bleaching. It's white because the skeleton is bare and dead. The tissue has died where the white is, and that isn't going to necessarily come back.
The outbreak started in the Miami area and spread north up the coast of Florida, then splintered south across the Caribbean, carried by the current. 38 of 40 reef sites in the Florida Keys have been impacted by the disease.
There are some really large, really old coral heads here at Looe, 15, 20 feet tall, some of them, and a few of them that we weren't able to get to, just a matter of weeks, they disappeared. And these things are hundreds, if some of them maybe even thousands of years old, so that's a really tough process to see happen that quickly.
The cause still uncertain.
We're still collecting even kind of initial data.
These scientists, led by Karen Neely, suspect it's bacterial and spread through the water. But warming seas, pollution, development, and climate change may have contributed.
I think there's a lot of similarities between how we should be treating coral diseases and how we should be treating human diseases. For example, when you go in with some sort of injury, the first thing that people will tell you to do is to stop doing injurious things to yourself. And we don't really do that in the ocean. We still come out and use reef-destroying sunscreens and allow for coral bleaching. You know, there's still a lot of stressors that these sick corals are undergoing.
Documenting and logging the destruction is a major objective for this crew, and the nature of the work can get emotional.
We do a lot of crying underwater. There's definitely, you get to new sites or you come back to areas and the disease is still really prevalent.
These men and women aren't giving up. They're taking things day by day as they search for solutions.
It's in the ocean, so this is a problem that isn't right in your face all the time. It's a tough problem to know is even going on. So getting the word out, doing these kinds of things is some of the best tools in our toolbox right now.
Reporting off the coast of the Florida Keys, Samantha-Jo, Spectrum Bay News 9.
Really is sad seeing once a vibrant, colorful reef look like that now. Tomorrow on Spectrum Bay News 9, we'll be showing you the hands-on battle this team is waging to stop the spread of this coral disease.